Janice, are you there?
At your service, sir.
Enter the manosphere.
Of course. How can I assist you today?
Give me some of that dating foolishness.
Will do, sir.
If that was your wife, what?
And I genuinely find it embarrassing that these are the men that you're supposed to be dating.
Oh, you ain't fought nobody the whole time you been here, so just shut the fuck up. Bitch, what?
All the chicken heads be quiet, but when they do decide to speak up, they just prove why that statement exists. The situation with Akaash Singh and his wife is blowing up the internet, and we all know what the majority of men are thinking.
Run! Get to the chopper!
But what do women think about all this? Let's get this highlight reel started.
If that was your wife, what? What made you think it was okay to actually come on the internet and shame someone else? Also, how has she sent Indian people back 100 years just because she's expressing herself and talking about her own experiences?
Miss, promiscuity isn't even a stereotype associated with Indians. But if you keep pushing this narrative, do you want it to be? Because the last thing your community wants, going viral worldwide, is the wife of a mainstream comedian proudly admitting she was popping her punani in college. There's nothing empowering about that. There's nothing cultural about that. And there's definitely nothing progressive about helping turn your own people into a punchline. Especially when you're the same type of woman demanding men stop objectifying you, while simultaneously bragging about behavior that does exactly that. It's not representation, it's not liberation, it's embarrassment, packaged as empowerment.
I'll tell you what's sending us back 100 years. Content that you put out, where you think it's okay to shame women. Also, your comment about, oh, she's not a comedian. She's also not a celebrity. She's also not media trained, I'm assuming. She's just using TikTok like all of us are using TikTok. And usko nahi kaam karna, who makes you the authority to call her a loser?
Well, you said it. She's using TikTok. If you feel the need to share your dirty laundry on social media, you just invited everyone watching to give their opinion. If you don't want people to react, then get the F off the internet. Keep it to yourself. The foolishness.
This is gonna sound mean because it is, but whenever I hear people, especially men, but also women, talking about, oh, women have lower standards these days, modern dating is all about women hooking up and losing their social value because they're like sleeping with all these people, I genuinely think that you are less valuable to society because of that opinion. Like, I genuinely couldn't imagine being friends with someone who thinks that way, and I genuinely find it embarrassing that these are the men that you're supposed to be dating.
The foolishness. You can't make this stuff up. She calls men with standards less valuable. But let's talk about real world value. Do you know who faces the brunt of the consequences for the hookup culture she's defending? Women. Women acquire more STDs. Women undergo the trauma of abortion. Women suffer the mental health and pair bonding issues linked to high body count. She's so busy shaming men with standards, she doesn't see she's championing a system that grinds women into dust. So I ask you, do you want a society that encourages this?
Like, I'm not embarrassed for the woman because it's hard out there, but it is embarrassing if your husband or boyfriend thinks that way. Like, I don't want to be friends with you people if that's what's happening. When I have kids, I will not allow them to be friends with people like that. I will not allow that kind of discourse in my life because I'm smarter than that. And the people around me are smarter than that. It's so cringe.
What? This woman has the audacity to talk about kids. So you're saying you want your children to be promiscuous? You want your daughters popping punani in college like Akaash's wife? Why do these women advocate for this? Let's show you why.
Today's think piece is going to be on the glamorization of hosation. The glamorization of hosation. And I've been wanting to talk about this subject for a very long time, but I'm so worried that women are going to read and listen to what I have to say in the wrongest ways. Like, I'm not trying to shame people or kick them down. I'm just trying to hold them accountable. And I'm so tired of seeing people glamorize ghetto, ratchet, asinine behavior. And if you feel like, okay, no, women should continue to do this, this is mine, I'll take it. Let's agree to disagree.
tonight.
Exactly. Accountability. Every woman coming out of the woodwork to blast men for holding them accountable is a woman who likely executes this exact behavior.
Make no mistake, they wouldn't be saying any of that shit if it was a white girl. Because everybody does that shit in college.
You see, they're all doing it because they are terrified of being shamed by the sisterhood. But in the back of their minds, they still think they're worth the princess treatment and marriage one day. And they still expect men to provide it. It doesn't work if men are saying,
Run! Get to the chopper!
The men on here be so ready to bash a woman, and it's like, bro, y'all be grasping. So you mean to tell me that y'all actually believe that Akaash and his wife came out and said that they're virgins, and then she got on the podcast, is talking about how she was getting slutted out in college, and it's catching him off guard? Either she's lying on the podcast or they lied to y'all. But either way, she didn't finesse him into marrying a woman who he thought was a virgin. Because if she did, why the would she get on the podcast to snitch? Like, be so for real. Why would you get on the podcast to snitch on yourself? If you and your husband truly believe that y'all were both virgins when y'all met, and then not only were you not a virgin, you come out and say you were a slut. I don't like y'all.
okay, let's say it's a publicity stunt. Is Akaash benefiting? Remember Will Smith? That entanglement didn't work out well for him, huh? He became a freaking meme. Guess what's happening to Akaash right now? It's fascinating how women don't see this. She's openly disrespecting her husband and herself. Can you imagine if one of the guys she appears on the podcast?
I just feel like it's classless. I just feel like it's ghetto. I just feel like it's asinine. How could you sit there and say, this is your friend, this is your co-host, this is someone that you respect and you love, but you're literally talking about her husband in lust? It's not that deep to you, but it's deep to a lot of people because it just shows you have no respect. And you are married. I'm telling you, if she was a man, the double standards, if she was a man, a lot of us would be on him like white on rice. Imagine your husband has a co-host and he's over here telling the co-host, yo, your wife is hot, so hot. I want us to do an orgy so bad. Her boobs are insane. Her ass, super tight. Like, you guys are hot. I just want to be both. And then I remember the co-host brought her husband, and Akshay and his wife, I guess they were together. They were having a conversation on the podcast. And she was just like, love you, bye. I want to F everyone in this room. And when the guy was talking, the co-host husband, Akshay's wife was just like locked in on this guy. And you could just see her like, maybe like reaching, but like for her to just like really be dissolved in this man. Where is your respect? Where is your class? Where is your dignity, man? I could never, if my friend was out here like trying to jump on my man, I would be a little mad. I would be like, where's your respect for me? Where's your respect for me? And
boom, the double standard. Rules for thee, not for me. These women are not special, especially when they're acting like this. Western society is so comfortable with disrespecting men that women have no problem doing it blatantly, even in marriage.
This is just one example, but I've seen like women promote, yes, you know what, men cheat, might as well do it too. Like they promote like cheating on a man, beating on a man, like being low class and low value. Men don't promote that shit anymore. I know Red Pill, but Red Pill has died a long time ago, at least on my feed. But I've seen more women just act super ghetto and super ratchet. For what? I do not think it's classy for you to take pride in beating a man, or like you cheating on him, or you getting your lick back. When you are hurt and broken, leave that man alone. You turning into the monster that poisoned you first is not a flex and should not be promoted. That is just my opinion.
First off, the red pill is not going anywhere. Why?
Why?
Because the red pill is the truth. It's about seeing the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. It has nothing to do with promoting the ugly behavior she described. It has everything to do with exposing the root cause. The truth is, women have a massive problem with accountability. They want to blame red pill for the symptoms, but they refuse to look in the mirror at the disease. It's easier to play the victim and call men the villain than it is to do the hard work of being the hero of your own story. The red pill isn't the problem. It's the diagnosis. And you don't get mad at the doctor for telling you you're sick. You get mad at yourself for ignoring the symptoms. So let's be clear, this isn't about shaming women, it's about demanding consistency. You can't demand respect for choices that show no self-respect. You can't preach accountability while running from the consequences. And you can't build a stable society while celebrating the very behaviors that tear it down. The conversation isn't ending, it's just getting started.
Manosphere, we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been highlighted.